Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Botch Pit. This is Chris, and this time we're going to be covering the Arcana of Mage, the Awakening 2nd Edition. You see, Mage is obviously about casting spells and working rituals, and these can come in many forms. The first, you have what's called your Praxis, and that's like the spell you're known for, the spell you cast like nobody else can. Next, we have rotes or spells that you've rehearsed so often that casting was like second nature. And thirdly, and most importantly in my opinion, you have what's called Creative Thaumaturgy, or Improvised Casting. And that's where you, off the top of your head, use different arcana to create the effects you desire. While we won't be covering exactly what the first two do or exactly how to cast magic on this recording, as that's for another video, in order to become a proficient mage, you need to know what all the different arcana do. For those that may forget, the arcana are the different ways mages classify the different types of magic, as they all vary wildly. In order to move forward as an awakened, you must be well versed as to what those different arcana are and what they do. I touched on it in the initial beginner's guide to lore, but I'll be going more in depth here. So we're going to start off with the Death Arcana. And the Death Arcana, it's a subtle arcana compared to some. The magic of death seems to hail from Stygia, or the lands of the dead housed in the Twilight on some level. While not exactly spunky, not all the practitioners of this arcana are morbid and morose. Oftentimes, you may find among them some of the biggest celebrants of life, as they know it's not promised tomorrow. Having a deep understanding of all things that end, those specializing in death can restore feelings to ghosts, bolster the soul, or even destroy souls and steal life itself from an unfortunate target. Nasty stuff. The themes of the Death Arcana are darkness, decay, ectoplasm, ghosts, the underworld, souls, cold, absence, enervation, and endings. Next up, we have the Fate Arcana. With magic hailing right out of the land of the true Fae, Fate is an Arcadian magic that works with exactly what it sounds like. Fate explains what should and must happen, but who cares? With this arcana, it's time to stir up some curses, oaths, hexes, and probability. Those working with Fate learn about the inevitable and how to get in front of it. That doesn't mean they accept it, but life is too short to worry about consequences when you can change them. The themes of Fate are blessings, hexes, probability, fortune, oaths, promises, intentions, and destiny. The Forces Arcana. Explosions! But really, remember when I said that death was subtle? That's out the window here, as forces are the embodiment of the magnificence of mighty magic in the fallen world. Light, sound, fire, electricity, all the playthings of the Forces mage lucky enough to survive mastering it. Of course, a skilled awakened can use it in subtle ways, but when you can generate earthquakes and tornadoes, well, screw subtlety, am I right? The themes of the Forces Arcana are electricity, gravity, radiation, sound, light, heat, fire, weather, and movement. Then you have the Life Arcana. Hailing from the primal wild, this is a typically subtle arcana, but with massive, powerful potential. This arcana holds sway over all living things, from viruses to whales. Life is capable of surviving anywhere, and this arcana draws massive power from this fact. With this arcana, not only does their perception open in ways that other mages would kill for, it also makes them significantly physically more adaptable and hardy than your normal mortal. The themes of the Life Arcana are healing, disease, food, animals, plants, evolution, metamorphosis, physicality, and vigor. The Matter Arcana. This is a wild one. The more gross of the Stygian magics, this is the Arcana of contradictions. Matter is the study of all that exists but doesn't live, an arcana that can rot new steel or make glass unbreakable. While seen by many as the most base of the arcana, few really appreciate the undoubtable power of this one. The themes of matter are alchemy, gases, solids, liquids, shaping, crafting, transmutation, and stasis. The Mind Arcana. Finally, time to get some of the realm pandemonium. Mind is the subtle arcana of the Watchtower Pandemonium. Mind is all about the collective consciousness formed by everything that can think. From goetic practice to shared experience and communication, mind is an all-branching arcana no crafty mage should be without. Language is a huge part of the study of mind, and as humanity in general, so we'd be remiss to not take that into account. The themes of mind are communication, language, hallucination, goetia, thought, memory, mental projection, and the astral realms. Yes, this arcana has an entire realm within it to explore. In fact, every mind has its own realm of psyche within it. A slick storyteller would do well to remember that. The Prime Arcana. Prime is the subtle arcana hailing from the Watchtower of Brimos, working with patterning magic that forms and makes up the aether of the realm supernal. Yeah, that's a little tricky to say. Think of it like studying the threads that make up a quilt. This is the arcana of manipulating magic itself, from mana to task, and even severing and granting connection to the realm supernal itself. They can also remove any evidence of magic work from the supernal and deal with paradox as well. The themes of the Prime Arcana are magic, the supernal realm itself, nimbus, truth, yantras, mana, hollows, tasks, resonant, and revelations. The Space Arcana. I remember when I first got into Mage, it was with Mage the Ascension. You see, I loved a tradition called the Virtual Adepts, and we'll get into that another time. But you see, they had this sphere, their versions of Arcana, called Correspondence. It taught that distance and measurements of all kinds were a lie, and when they brought Mage back as Mage the Awakening, this is what Correspondence became. I love it. Teaching, as I said, that distance is a lie, these mages dabble in things like portals, doors, and enforce that even your perceived belief of distance is wrong. Remember Doctor Strange when everything went all warpy and crazy? Yeah, that's what this whole arcana can be. This arcana hails from the realm of Pandemonium, as I mentioned, and its themes are distance, separation, sympathetic connections, conjuration, scrying, and warding. The Spirit Arcana. This is the subtle arcana of the wild. Repercussions. The realm of spirit, best known for its furry ambassadors, the Uratha, understand this all too well. The realm of spirit is a land represented by spirits, and of things that have happened somewhere and entities that take on the emotion and memories of those events. With this arcana, a mage can craft familiars, breach the gauntlet, interact with shadow, and do all sorts of things that will piss off our furry friends. This is the arcana that allows a mage to both interact and control these places and creatures. The themes of the Spirit Arcana are essence, spirit, the shadow, and the gauntlet. Next up, and finally, we have the Time Arcana, the second of the Arcade Arcana. This is the arcana dedicated to the study and manipulation of its namesake. It's the far more blatant magic of the pair, and for obvious reasons. Time and fate rule Arcadia, and it's safe to say they hold dominion over all our mortal world as well. Some say time is like a loosed arrow, and fate is the archer's aim. With this arcana, the mage can view outcomes, best and worst case scenarios, and even control aging and decay to an extent. Sorry, my throat got all caught up there. The themes of this arcana are prophecy, change, post-cognition, time travel, time contraction, and dilation. So, that's it for the arcana. I hope you found this helpful, and don't worry, soon enough we'll be covering how to combine these arcana into creative thaumaturgy and making your own spells, as well as the history and background of the Watchtowers themselves. I just wanted to do a small video so that when the time comes, this will be a companion piece as to how to do the creative thaumaturgy and working your own magic, so you don't just rely on rotes. Your praxis, you don't have a lot of those. And rotes are cool, but you're relying on something someone else already made, whereas you can cater your magic to the event you're in at the moment if you can think quick and get really snappy with your conjunction of magic. So, as always, we really appreciate you all for listening. We're almost at 200 subscribers, which is insane. It's still blowing my mind perpetually. Next up, Nick's going to have Armory Reloaded and Hurt Locker, and I'll have the next installment of our Hunter Chronicle up for your listening, hopefully tonight, but if not tomorrow. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and don't forget sharing is caring. You're all the best, and thanks again for spending some time in the pit. This is Chris, checking out. Oh, I'm sorry, one last thing to mention. They Came From Beneath the Sea is drawing to a close on Kickstarter. Don't miss out on this. Don't forget to go back it. You'll regret it. There's a whole bunch of free shit they're giving out as, stretch goals, and you do not want to miss out on that, ever. Free stuff is me stuff, as I always say. I actually don't really ever say that. I just came up with that, and I don't know to be proud or disappointed in myself. Again, Chris from the Botch Pit, thank you for listening. You're awesome. Have a good night, or good day, wherever you are. I don't care. I don't judge. Bye.